So you've had a few practices to evaluate these guys on the field now. What are your early impressions of the quarterback group?
It's a good group. Those guys came out and they're working hard, picking up the install. Eager to come out here and learn and continue to get better and progress each and every day.
How far ahead is Felipe right now?
He's done a good job. He's handled the installs. He come in and studied it, and he's done a good job of coming in and taking it from the class to the grass and putting it on the field and making some plays and getting everybody involved in the offense.
Class to the grass, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one of the things you got to be able to do from the quarterback is take what we teach in the meeting rooms, come out here and apply it, on the practice field and just be very demanding of yourself each and every rep.
The Gators haven't had a consistent or productive quarterback really since Tebow. It's been a long time. What makes you confident that there's a guy in this group that can be that guy?
Well, those guys are talented, and they're putting in the necessary work that it takes to perform at a high level, in college football. And they have that desire to be a great unit and great individual players. And they've done a good job so far through 6 practices of putting the work in and continually getting better each and every day.
After watching some of these workouts, what are some of the strengths that Felipe has shown you?
He definitely has a fantastic arm. He has the ability to make every throw. And he's shown some ability to extend plays and to make some plays off schedule. With the arm strength that he possesses, there's been times where I've seen him throw the ball out here 75 yards in the air and put it on the money and just extending and escaping sacks and finding a way to keep plays alive and making plays down the field. So he's done a good job picking up the install and he's taking steps forward each and every day.
What are you pushing him to improve? I mean, what's like maybe a key area? I know you want him to improve in everything.
To me the biggest thing is having a positive impact on everyone else around you and your play elevating everybody else. In our offense, that's what we ask of the quarterback. We put a lot on his plate, and we give him a lot of responsibility, especially at the line of scrimmage. So he's got to come in and put the work in order to come out here and perform at a high level each and every day.
Where's Kyle Trask in that respect in terms of the leadership and stuff? Because I know that was something that the previous regime was pushing because he obviously has a lot of the physical skills
Yeah,
too.
Absolutely. Kyle's done a great job with the reps that he's had. He's coming out and competing every single day. He's making plays and you definitely see the improvement in him from practice 1 to practice 6. And for us, it's just about continually taking those steps in the right direction each and every day. As a unit, we still have a long way to go, but we're gonna have some building blocks to teach on this summer and as we head into fall and get those guys all on the same page and ready to go perform.
Do you worry at all about the way Felipe's season went last year, that there's any lingering impacts of that in terms of confidence, or is there anything you do to maybe build him up?
Yeah, I mean, I think each year is its own independent entity. For him, he's got to come out and focus on what he can control now. Whatever happened last year has happened. It's done with. You can't change it. The only thing that you can worry about is becoming a better player each and every day and putting yourself in a position to go out there and compete at a high level and to be at your best at all times. And he had a great winter conditioning and put himself in a position to where he could come out, handle the install, and stay ahead of the install, and come out here and have a seamless transition on the practice field.
He had some struggles last year with decision making. We saw the interception Saturday. How do you coach him after the play like that in practice?
I mean, that's what we practice for. At certain points in practice where we want you to be aggressive and see what you can and can't get away with. We're firm believers that experience is life's best teacher. And sometimes you got to go out there and do some things a couple of times before it starts to click and it makes sense. So, for us, is we want everything to be a teachable moment. And, I think that the quarterbacks have taken to that and they kind of used it to get themselves better each and every day.
What's your early impression of Jones? I know he's a freshman, but
good. He's talented. It's great that he got in early so he can get the spring ball. He's getting some really, really valuable reps. You know, throwing him in with the ones and the twos. So I mean, he's getting real reps, and you know, we're throwing it all at him to see what he can handle. So he's done a good job, just in terms of getting himself ready to play. You know, but obviously his best football is still ahead of him, and just like everybody else, we got a long way to go. But you know, early on, he's done some things that have flashed and shown why he was so coveted as a recruit.
Yeah, what has been the thing that's impressed you the most? I mean, the kid's still 17. I mean, he should be in, you know, high school right now.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing to me is just his confidence of coming in and knowing what to do and not being overwhelmed. You know, by the level of competition. He's come out, he's competed. You know, no matter what group he's going with, whether it's the ones, the twos, or the threes, he's come out and he's known what to do, and you know, he's been very, very eager in the meeting room as well. So, you know, I'm excited to watch his continued development and make sure he finishes the spring strong.
He's looked a little inconsistent passing the ball. Is that just, you know, the first time going through this, a lot on his mind, or is there anything mechanical you're working with on his throwing motion?
No, I think he throws the ball extremely well. You know, a part of that is just kind of going through just the natural development of playing the position and what we ask the quarterback to do in our offense, and you know, going with different groups and just getting that timing down. You know, when you're in his position and you're going with everybody with ones, twos, and threes. I mean, it could be a huge difference between going with those different groups. So just, you know, building that consistency and that timing and camaraderie with each different group takes a little bit longer.
So are you confident that the guys that you have the guy in this group?
I am. I mean, I ain't got nobody else coming through that door. So I mean, these are our guys, and we're gonna get them ready to go out there and compete at a high level and hold them to the Gator standard. I mean, that's what it's all about. So you know, those guys are eager and willing to learn, and you know, as long as they continue to come out here with that attitude and get better and take steps in the right direction each and every day, it'll be fine.
Is there anybody like under the radar that you think will make some noise in the fall?
Well, I mean, you know, the four guys we got, you know, Felipe, Kyle, Jake, and Emery. I mean, those guys are all getting reps, and you know, put them in a position to go out there and highlight their individual skill sets and use their talent to the best of their ability.
Does Felipe remind you of anybody you've either coached or competed against, or?
Not really off the top of my head. He's a really exceptional thrower of the football, and he's athletic enough to extend plays. You know, generally, you see guys that are his size with that height. You know, he's exceptionally athletic to be that long. You know, so he has all the physical tools required to play this position at a high level for a really long time.
What throw you mentioned? Like I said, has he made a couple throws?
Yeah, I mean,
that just, you know, you're just like, whoa.
You know, I think it was either practice 2 or 3. He made a throw, and I just looked over at the end. We kind of just both looked at each other and just shook our head. It was a pretty impressive throw. So I mean, and they've all kind of had some of those throws. Kyle Trask had one today where he threw, you know, off a play action pass, and it was a great read. He got to number 3 in his progression and put it right on the guy and stride for a touchdown. So it was, you know, those guys, they all have flashed and shown some ability to make some big plays.
How much can you really get a pulse on what these guys can do as runners in spring, where those guys aren't really having contact?
Enough. You know, I think because the way we structure practice, I mean, those guys are going to get thudded up, even though it's not full contact. You know, we'll see what they can do just in terms of their scrambling ability of how coach holds the whistle and make sure that we're finishing plays and you know, and through our individual drills. You know, I think those guys are all different runners. You know, and it's not, you know, we'll kind of design it to run to their strengths. Sure. You know, so we'll do what we need to do as an offensive staff to get that organized.
Has Dan ever pulled the non-contact jerseys from quarterbacks? Or is
yeah, absolutely. You know, a couple of years ago, I think it was the year after Dak graduated, we went into the spring with a 4-man competition, and they were all live all spring, so we could see, you know, what those guys could do. So I mean, it's been times throughout our career where, you know, quarterbacks have been live the entire spring.
What was that play? The Felipe play where you looked at Dan. What do you do?
Yeah, I can't remember. It was.
Was it a bomb or just?
No, it wasn't. It was kind of an off schedule. He kind of scrambled around, and the guy, broke loose down the sideline, and he saw him and he launched. It was very similar to the Tennessee play. I mean, it was one of those type deals where he scrambled and threw it back across the field. It was impressive ball.
I know you didn't want to have any preconceived notions about these guys, but have they surprised in any way from just what you expected, what you've heard?
I think they were exceptional throwers of the football and passers of the football. For them to have the ability to make different types of throws and put different tempos and paces on the ball is something that I thought they've done a really good job with throughout the first 6 practices. Especially when you have some younger guys who hadn't played a bunch, the ability to kind of have some of that arm talent, do that stuff takes a while to develop, and some of those guys do some of that stuff naturally. So that's a positive for sure.
You talked about Felipe. You talked about Felipe being able to extend plays. What about running within the framework of the offense?
Yeah, I mean, and that changes from year to year, depending on that particular runner and how we want to design it and to fit his skill set. But he has definitely more than enough toughness and athletic ability to be a good runner. So, to me, that's not a concern at all.
It seemed like there were some cadence issues in a couple other practices with false starts and stuff like that. What do you guys do to kind of work those kinks out, or does that just happen naturally?
Yeah, I just got to continue to work at it, and it's a lot of install still going on. Sure. So, I mean, I think we understand that as a staff, and there's going to be some growing pains going through some of that stuff. But that's just continuing to be very demanding of yourself as a player and having that toughness to lock into the cadence. But it's been our experience that if you don't do it in practice, it's going to be really, really hard to do it in the game. So you gotta practice it if you want to be good at it.
Good. Thanks.